What if a country could build its own advanced fighter jet from scratch and compete with the world's biggest aerospace powers? That is exactly what South Korea is trying to do with the KF-21. It is a sleek, twin-engine fighter designed to bridge the gap between 4th and 5th generation aircraft, and honestly, it might become one of the most important fighter programs of the decade. Before we dive too far into this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Only about 9% of my current viewers are subscribed. We're getting really close to 5,000 subscribers, and each and every one of you guys helps the channel out more than you can ever know. So the KF-21 is designed and developed by Korea Aerospace Industries. It is South Korea's first domestically developed advanced fighter aircraft. The name roughly translates to Young Hawk in Korea. In Korean is a symbol of something trained and ready to fight independently. Development began under the KFX program with the goal of replacing aging F-4 and F-5 fighters. Since then, South Korea has become operational with the F-35, and the big reason for that is the delays of the KF-21 program. The KF-21 finally took its maiden flight on July 19, 2022. At a glance, the aircraft looks a lot like the F-22 and F-35, but it's not. It's a home-built aircraft. Obviously, if you're going to be building something that you want to be able to compete with in modern air combat, you're going to have something that resembles the best, and the F-22 and F-35 are the best. Now, the KF-21 is far from a capable 5th-generation platform. I would argue, and a lot of experts would agree, that the aircraft at best right now is a 4.5 generation fighter. The reason for this is it still does not have internal weapon bays. It carries weapons externally. The aircraft features an AESA radar, infrared search and track systems, advanced electronic warfare equipment, modern cockpit displays, and twin General Electric F414 engines. This allows the aircraft to fly almost Mach 2. Now, the biggest reason with the KF-21 and why it matters so much to South Korea to develop this aircraft as soon as possible is the price. This is an aircraft that is made to be significantly cheaper than the F-35. The F-35 is very expensive to acquire, and it is very expensive to maintain. Now, South Korea plans on multiple future upgrades. The upgrades include the Block 1 aircraft, which focuses mainly on air superiority missions, and the Block 2, which adds multi-role strike capability. The future variants will obviously introduce full stealth features and internal weapon bays, pushing the aircraft even closer to a true 5th generation performance. Now, I would argue the KF-21 is very similar to the JAS-39. The JAS-39 is developed to be an aircraft that can be a backbone backing up other aircraft and still be, one, cheap enough to operate in large quantities, but two, be good enough to actually be relevant in a modern conflict. The JAS-39 is the cheapest aircraft to fly currently. The KF-21 should, and, very, very well will be, the cheapest 5th generation fighter to be able to buy, use, and operate. And if South Korea can really knock down the development of the KF-21, they're going to have an aircraft that, one, will probably be one of the most exported 5th generation platforms if it's, half okay, because if they can keep it cheap, and they can keep it cheap to operate, and they can make it look very promising, there's no reason not to take it over the F-35. Obviously, you take an F-35 if you're NATO. NATO has a lot of spending budget, and the F-35 makes mission sense for that. The KF-21 is an aircraft that, if you're a nation that normally is exporting either, 4.5 gen or 4th gen fighters from the US, like the Block 72 F-16, the F-18, the F-15, or you're exporting from Russia, like the Su-30, the Su-27, this gives you an option to have, for the very similar price tag, a 5th gen or at least a 4.5 gen aircraft. Now, in War Thunder, the KF-21 coming to South Korea, Gaijin has talked about adding a tech tree that would include North Korea and South Korea. Honestly, right now, the KF-21 is an aircraft that I think could come to the game. It wouldn't be a 5th gen if it came to War Thunder, it'd be a 4.5. South Korea has not made it to the point where the KF-21 could be considered a 5th gen. It lacks the full stealth capabilities of something like the F-22 and F-35 or J-20, but it does, it's there. I think in the next 4 years, so by the calendar year 2030, it'll be considered a 5th generation platform. Right now, 4.5 gen. Why I think this is an aircraft that could come to War Thunder is this gives Gaijin the ability to add this before 5th generation platforms. They could add the F-15EX for the United States, the KF-21 for a new tech tree, including that would include North Korea and South Korea. They could add the F-16 Block 72 for the other nations. They could give the MiG-31 to Russia, and they could give the J-16 to China. There's a lot of options for at least maybe one more major addition to the game of new aircraft that aren't 5th gen. And the KF-21 is a perfect option for that. Now, I don't know a lot about the KF-21 in weapon-wise. I'd imagine it's very similar to what we see on the F-35, just because that's the weapon systems that, South Korea operates. So I'd imagine AMRAAMs, possibly other imported missile systems. I'd have to do more research about that. There's not a lot that seems to be known about the aircraft in terms of all that. It seems to be a pretty tightly kept aircraft. If you guys know what weapons you could carry, let me know down below in the comments. Obviously, I'd like to know that. In conclusion, is the KF-21 a true stealth fighter? Not fully. Is it one of the most ambitious aerospace projects South Korea has ever attempted? Absolutely. And if future upgrades deliver on the promises, it could become one of the most defining fighter jets of the next generation. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more War Thunder content. Comment down below, would you ever take a KF-21 over other modern fighters? And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.